The night pressed against the windows of Maya's small apartment like a quiet accusation. The wind outside whispered secrets that no one could hear, carrying the kind of cold that didn't just touch the skin, it seeped into the soul. Inside, the air smelled faintly of old wood, faint candle wax, and memories that refused to fade. Maya sat on the edge of a worn-out chair, her fingers curling around the arms as if holding herself together could keep the world from falling apart. Her eyes were fixed on the dim glow of the street lamp outside, flickering like a heartbeat she hadn't felt in years. For so long, she had carried everything, every expectation, every disappointment, every silent plea for someone to notice her struggle. She smiled for others, laughed when no one would cry with her, and remained the quiet strength her family depended on. But tonight was different. Tonight, the weight pressed too hard. A photo frame lay face down on the floor across the room, the glass cracked at the corner. Inside was a picture of her mother, the only person who ever truly understood her. Maya's chest tightened. She closed her eyes, letting her mother's voice echo softly in her memory. "One day, my daughter, the world will understand your silence." But the world never did. A single tear traced the line of her cheek. Not a scream, not a sob, just one quiet, undeniable tear that carried the stories of years of holding on, of breaking in silence, of loving people who never saw the pain behind her smiles. Maya leaned forward, her forehead resting in her hands. The chair creaked under the weight of her exhaustion, and the apartment seemed to grow colder with each passing moment. She thought of all the nights she had stayed awake, pretending everything was fine. She thought of all the times she had put others first, only to vanish in the shadows herself. And in that lonely, frozen moment, she realized something she had never dared to admit. Sometimes the strongest hearts are the ones the world never sees, until they finally break. The wind outside whispered again, but this time it felt different. It was no longer just cold. It was a reminder that even in the deepest silence, something inside her still wanted to be heard. The apartment felt emptier now, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath, waiting for her next move. Maya sank deeper into the chair, her mind drifting through the corridors of memory. She remembered the mornings in her childhood home, the smell of her mother's cooking, the gentle hum of life that always seemed so full, so warm. Her mother had been a quiet force, not loud or demanding, but present in every small way. A hand on her shoulder, a note tucked into her lunch, a whispered encouragement before a big day. Maya had loved her fiercely, but life had its own plans. Her mother was gone now, taken too soon, leaving behind an emptiness that no words could fill. The photo on the floor wasn't just glass and paper, it was every lesson, every comforting word, every smile she'd ever been given. She closed her eyes and let the memories flow. She remembered school days where she had laughed with classmates, yet returned home to silence that wrapped around her like a heavy blanket. She remembered standing in the kitchen, doing chores, pretending everything was fine, while inside her heart a storm raged. Every sacrifice, every hidden tear, every unspoken word, it all built up over the years. Maya had learned to carry the weight of others' happiness, their dreams, their needs, without asking for anything in return. And now, sitting in the stillness of her apartment, she finally felt the cracks in her armor. She thought of her father, often distant and distracted, never noticing the quiet battles she fought every day. She thought of friends who smiled at her presence, but never asked the questions that mattered. She thought of love, moments of hope and connection that slipped through her fingers, leaving only echoes of, "What if?" The night grew colder, the wind scratching against the window like distant whispers, reminders of promises left unkept, of hearts that didn't understand, of moments she had swallowed without a sound. Maya hugged her knees to her chest, the tears flowing freely now. Not just one tear, but streams that carried years of loneliness, of invisible suffering, of unacknowledged strength. In the quiet, she began to talk to herself, softly at first, then louder, as if the apartment itself could listen. Why did no one see me? Why did I always have to be strong for everyone else? Her voice cracked. The weight of those years, the expectations, the love given without reciprocation, the endless need to endure, pressed down on her chest like stone. But somewhere in that crushing heaviness, a flicker of something else appeared. A quiet understanding that she had survived, that despite everything, she was still here. Maya's eyes fell upon the photo once more. She picked it up gently, her fingers tracing the edges of the frame. Her mother's smile seemed to reach through the glass, warm and comforting, a reminder that love never truly leaves us. And in that moment, amidst the tears and the memories, Maya understood something profound. The battles we fight in silence, the wounds no one sees, the strength that never gets recognized, they are not meaningless. They shape us. They teach us. They make us who we are. The apartment felt a little less heavy now, as if acknowledging her pain had given it room to breathe. The wind outside still whispered, still cold, still indifferent, but inside Maya, something shifted. A small ember of resilience, glowing softly, reminding her that even in the darkest nights, the heart can still find its way. The night had deepened, stretching the shadows long and thin across the floor of Maya's small apartment. Silence filled every corner, heavy and almost tangible, pressing against her chest with every breath. She sat on the floor, surrounded by the remnants of her life, photographs, letters, and forgotten mementos, all quietly echoing the years she had spent surviving alone. For so long, Maya had been the silent strength of everyone around her. She smiled when she wanted to scream. She laughed when she wanted to cry. She gave without ever asking. But tonight, the weight of all those years, of unspoken pain, unnoticed tears, and invisible battles had reached its breaking point. Her hands trembled as she picked up the photograph of her mother. The glass felt cold beneath her fingers, yet inside it was warmth, memories of love, guidance, and the rare, perfect moments when someone had truly understood her. Her chest heaved. The tears came freely now, unrestrained and unstoppable. She cried for the girl she had been, for the woman she had hidden, for every silent battle that had gone unseen. Why did I have to carry it all alone? Why didn't anyone see me? She whispered, voice cracking, almost pleading with the empty room. But amid the tears and heartache, a spark emerged, a memory, a whisper of her mother's voice, soft yet unwavering. One day, my daughter, the world will understand your silence. Maya let that thought sink deep. She realized that survival wasn't about recognition, and strength wasn't about being seen. It was about enduring, about acknowledging her own courage, about honoring herself after all the years of sacrifice. She stood slowly, shaky but determined. The photograph was placed carefully on the table, a symbol of love that remained even in absence. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift slightly, replaced by a quiet, unwavering power. I survived. I am here. I am enough, she whispered, and for the first time in years, she meant it. The wind outside still whispered coldly, indifferent to human pain. But inside Maya, something had changed. The breaking point had come, and with it, awakening. She was no longer just surviving. She was beginning to live, to feel, to embrace the strength she had carried silently for so long. Her lips curved into a small, genuine smile, not the smile she gave the world, but one meant only for herself. A smile of survival, a smile of quiet triumph. Short YouTube outro, Real Life USA Stories. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Real Life USA Stories, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us bring more inspiring stories. Thank you.